This is going to be a look at Saints rookie wide receiver Chris Olave and his play through 7 games of the 2022 season. He missed week 6 against the Bengals, I believe. He's played in the other 7 games. Look, he's smaller than a lot of the other wide receivers that I'm going to talk about in terms of who's the best rookie wide receiver in the NFL. George Pickens, Drake London, guys like that. He's had a huge impact. He's the complete threat. In my opinion, wherever the Saints put him, he's effective. Whatever they do with him, haven't seen the ball handed off to him like on a jet sweep or anything like that, but with his speed and his acceleration, nothing would surprise me. Haven't seen a ton of screens thrown to him, but then again, I only have about 55 plays saved, of which I think I kept 37 and then whittled it down to about the 15 or 16 that I'm going to show you to present to you what I think Olave is really good at so far. This video is part of a larger film study that I've kind of alluded to. Who's the best rookie wide receiver in the NFL? And I would not be upset if someone chose Olave. So far, 37 catches, 550 yards. Like I said, through week 8, averaging almost 15 yards per catch so far. He's generated 24 first downs and 2 touchdowns. So maybe some people would like to see, more touchdowns, I understand. And it's taken 63 targets to get those 37 catches. If you extrapolate it out, let's say you double it, and he plays 14 games, so you get 74 catches, 4 touchdowns on about 100 and 125 targets. I understand some people would say that's a low catch percentage. I just think that, well, in terms of Olave, number one, it's a small sample size. He's only played 7 games. And it's really due to 2 games. Week 2 against the Bucs, he had 5 catches on 13 targets for 80 yards. And then week 7 against Arizona, which I'm going to include some plays from in this video, he had 7 catches on 14 targets for like 110 yards. So it's not like he was ineffective. Let's get to some of the film so you guys can make up your own mind. He will be spot shadowed in most cases pre-snap. This is his first career touchdown, week 4 against the Vikings. He makes tough catches in traffic. Are they contested catches? Well, this one isn't contested, but there is definitely contact right as he catches this football. Dalton gets rid of the ball quick, puts it in a position where Olave can catch it, protect himself. That's one thing I really like about him. He catches the ball, secures it, and protects himself, protects his body in the process. Probably my favorite route that I've seen him run. Probably not talked about a whole lot. It's 2-man, so these 2 safeties are going to be deep, and then they're going to be playing man. The Cardinals, are going to be playing man underneath. It's a 3rd and 11. And that's the thing that I've noticed is that the quarterbacks, Winston and Andy Dalton, they trust him. Let's take a look at this route again. So, again, it's going to be man. He's going to get to the top of the route. It's 3rd and 11. So Dalton's sitting back here. Dalton is clearly eyeing him to this side. And I think Olave understands that there's a safety sitting over the top. And right now, I think he's looking at the other safety. I think he's looking for, has the other safety dropped down? So essentially, it will be man-free. It looks like trail man by this corner. And watch Olave, some people call it a boom, boom. Like his ability to just change directions, leave the DB, and just boom back to the other side, leaving that guy. Cool job, if you ask me, making himself available for the catch. Again, 3rd and 11. I think these guys trust him, and I think they trusted him early in the season for real. Against the Vikings in week 4, the game that was in London, I think this is inside of a minute left in the 4th, and they're down 28-25. Of course, they missed the field goal here, or I think maybe it got blocked. It's a cover 2, and I love how he sells this to the slot defender. So he sells this to the slot defender. He knows he's got to get here. He's got to get somewhere in this area. And the Saints have cool design on this also. I think this number 1 is running a vertical. So they're basically splitting and isolating this safety, I believe. Watch Olave as he gets to the inside leverage of this nickel DB. And I think the guy's got to push. He's got to make Olave go to the other side. He's got to funnel Olave to the safety. And I think Olave does a nice job of selling this to the outside and then bringing it back over that DB's right on there and at least attempt a game-tying field goal. Same play, end zone angle. And you can see Dalton looking at the safety to our right, which is the opposite side, just checking to make sure that safety wasn't coming over to help out. And now he knows he's just reading the field side safety. The guy that I said was isolated. Sorry if it jigged a little bit. And there's the catch. Beautiful catch. Great hands. That's the thing about Olave. I know that it's taken 63 targets for him to get the 37 catches, but that's not as a result of drops at all, if you ask me. Taysom Hill at quarterback, week 7 against Arizona. They're going to run this Y split with the tight ends down to the bottom. I really can't draw the differential between these two routes because I only got so much screen to utilize. And you get this kind of like later developing dig or in by Olave. Just burns this DB. Watch him just turn the guy around. Taysom Hill puts the ball a little low, but in stride, he almost takes it to the house. Big play. In the slot, I feel like he's incredibly dangerous. And you see evidence of that in the last 2 plays. This big catch from Taysom Hill against Arizona in week 7, and then clutch catch late in the game against the Vikings that they lost, but at least put the Saints in position to try to get a game-tying field goal. Sideline comeback, it's a zone blitz early in the season, I think week 3. Now there's a hold here. I think there's actually 2 holds. But watch the separation he gets, all right? This did not count. I do not believe this play counted. I think it was called back. I think you have 2 holds in here. They're making it look like this sticks blitz 0 situation. Watch the separation he gets from this corner. Now, it's a zone blitz, I think. So you've got 3 deep, 3 under. So this corner understands he probably doesn't have any help. He is, in fact, the deep defender. In any case, look at his separation Olave is able to get. Jameis Winston takes a shot. I'm not a Saints fan. I don't watch a ton of Saints film, but I will say this. Jameis Winston is willing to take a shot to give his guys the opportunity to make a play. I know he's missed some games this year. There's a part of me that roots for the guy because he's got a lot of heart, if you ask me, putting himself out there like that. A lot of separation created by Olave. DBs clearly respect the threat of the vertical when he pushes off like that. And in that case, that's what allowed him to get so open. Against Tampa Bay, I think you have this quarters situation. So I think if you watch the routes, they're mirrored routes by the 1 and 2 on both sides. Both safeties for the Bucs react in the same manner, and they're almost kind of mirrored in their reaction. It's 2 in and up routes by the number 1s. And both safeties end up lagging behind. It's man on everywhere you go with the corners, so Meg, whatever you want to call it. And ends up being a defensive pass interference. I think that's Bunting, 24. Is that Jones? Pretty clear defensive pass interference. Have I seen him beat a ton of people vertical, just straight beat them? No, I haven't, but the speed is there. And if you're a Saints fan, you've seen more film than me. Again, Wilson was decked on that throw there, by the way. So big defensive pass interference call. Again, I mentioned the third down situations where they seem to trust him a lot. I call this press man because there's really no press here. I love the agility and putting his foot in the ground, stopping and coming back for the ball. I'm not necessarily talking about who he's operating against, but he makes himself available on third downs often. I had 3 or 4 other plays saved that I didn't use in this video for you of him making himself available on third down, just not being targeted because someone else was. You can see it's a 3rd and 7. Quarterback threw the ball in a place, in a location. Olave had to go down and get it, protect himself. I think he's the complete package. I really don't see any reason that this guy doesn't put up 100 catches at some point in his career. They get him the ball in multiple concepts. I've shown you the deep sideline out, kind of like a fade out against Carolina. The little slant and up against Tampa Bay earlier. Here's a Z under. Again on a 3rd and 4. I think he's called short, but I think they call a penalty on this linebacker for like spearing or something like that. Kind of BS. But in any case, they trust him on third down. He makes catches. He's tough. Isn't scared of contact. He's protecting himself here. And the linebacker's helmet does make contact with the back of his helmet. He ends up short. Looks like to me they call a penalty. If you're a Bucs fan or a Saints fan, you would know better than me. But 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, he looked a little short. I really love this one. This is a go fade against cover 2. I think you're going to get 2 cover 2 situations here by Carolina and back-to-back plays. He's going to take advantage of the same corner that he beat pretty badly early on. Gets over the top of him. Leaping catch. Gets down, inbounds. Check it out again. So they've funneled these 2 guys in together. When I say they, I mean the corner and then this, I think the Mike linebacker or whoever it is, he's running the pipe. He's running between the hashes in the cover two. So we would say he's got the middle third in the cover two, but I know that math doesn't work. But they funneled them into the safety, and they just split. Olave brings it down here. Safety can't cover both of them. Great throw. We would call that the hole shot in cover two, throwing it over top of the corner towards the sideline. Olave knows he's open. He's just got spectacular hands. If you're a Saints fan and you're watching this, let me know how many drops has he had. I haven't seen any. Tampa 2, he's up top now. And he's going to run a deep out. This is a gutsy throw by Jameis Winston, which kind of seems to be his MO, right? Like I said, he'll give his guys a chance to catch the football. So it's a Tampa 2, cover 2. So you have half field safety. This guy's running the pipe. The backside of the cover 2. You're getting a drag by number 1, so this corner's releasing it. Doesn't really have anything to do with Olave, but where I say it's a gutsy throw by Jameis Winston is this corner sitting on it. But he throws it over the top of him. That's such an arc that Olave's able to catch it, get his 2 feet inbounds. To me, he looks like a third-year NFL wide receiver. He doesn't look like a rookie. Everything is just so smooth. I'm going to show you his speed outs in a moment. This is a little bit of a speed out. It's a deeper speed out. 1st and 10, like an 11-yard catch along the right sideline. Really smooth. I just haven't seen him look like there's something he can't handle yet. Curl flat, protects himself again. So when I say curl flat, I mean he's going to run the curl, end up in this area here, and then the tight end's going to run, out into the flats. Thomas falls down trying to get, to the inside in between the hashes. And the read is number 31. I think that is that Winfield, I believe. Winfield. So the read is this guy right here. If he sits on the curl by Olave, throw it to the flats now. If he goes with the flat route, throw the curl. Because the safety is going to be occupied by Thomas. Great catch. Everything he does is smooth. Every cut that he makes is smooth. Very abrupt. Really no wasted motion. I don't know, how they judge efficiency of player movement, with all the technology that there is now, the sport track stuff or whatever, miles per hour. I would think there's a way to judge efficiency. He seems very efficient on the field in the game. Seems like there's no wasted energy, no wasted movement. 2 read by Arizona. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to take away this out and handle the vertical. It's a tight end, so that kind of influences your decision to call 2 read here because the vertical by 1 isn't as big of a threat. If you inverted these 2 here, meaning if you switched Olave and put Olave here, put a tight end here, they probably don't call 2 read, okay? Because 2 out might be able to be handled by this inside linebacker. But 2 out when it's Olave, a receiver, probably can't be handled by that inside linebacker. So they're reading it. He's breaking on the out. The corner is coming down now. The safety is going to peel to play 1 vertical. That's just 2 read. That's all it is. Olave catches it. He must have elite understanding of coverages, man, because he protects himself immediately upon catching this football. Does kind of get tagged in the leg. Tough player. My Ravens got a real issue dealing with this guy on Monday night. Speed outs. I think you get 2 of them here in a row. It seems to be an indefensible route for him against him, unless the quarterback throws it where Jameis Winston throws it here. Throws it well behind him. You can see on the out, throw it to the sideline, and the corner's going to have to break. Yeah, he's going to make contact with Olave, but it's going to be after Olave catches the ball. You can't put it here. 2 yards behind him, yard behind him. Yeah, you can get a hand on it, but so can the DB. Impossible for him to get the catch there. Let's look at a better example of a speed out making himself available and the quarterback actually delivering it where you want to see the ball thrown. Top side of the field. If you can't tell from the way I'm talking about it, like I'm a huge fan of Chris Olave. I didn't watch a lot of college film of him for real because, this is a Ravens channel generally, so I am generally watching college players, looking at where the Ravens are drafting. Well, the Ravens are drafting at 14. I took one look at one game. I forget who it was against. And I was like, he's not going to be there at 14. So, what am I doing? I'm not going to waste my time watching film. Look at the smoothness of the speed out. Again, you'd like the ball to be thrown to me a little further out here towards the sideline. You're not going to get a bunch of yards after catch, but that's not what a speed out does. A speed out is designed to get to the sideline 6-7 yards and get out of bounds for whatever reason. He's just smooth with it. He's got everything, if you ask me. Great hands, tough against contact. I haven't seen press man a ton against him. Maybe there's a reason why. When the Ravens had Marquise Brown, that was one of the things that people would talk about is, he can't get off press coverage. He didn't see press coverage a whole lot. It doesn't seem like Chris Olave does either, and I guess the reason why is because he's got great speed. 6 foot, 190, little smaller than the other guys that'll be in this, larger film study. Who's the best rookie wide receiver in the NFL? Certainly a little smaller than, Pickens, Drake London, guys like that. Garrett Wilson, even, who I think is 6'3". But Chris Olave has all the skills. To me, he looks like an all-pro out there already. Maybe not in terms of numbers so far this year, but the skills are all there. They had Thomas, they have Jarvis Landry. Kamara gets a lot of touches. Ingram, who's not as big of a factor at this point so far and is dealing with injuries. Taysom Hill gets his touches, so I understand that there's only so many footballs to go around in terms of plays. This is a guy who looks like he could handle more because so far from what I'm seeing, nothing that he's been asked to do is something that makes him feel uncomfortable, makes him look less than smooth, less than prepared. Ohio State did a great job. He did a great job, obviously, in college, getting himself ready. Looks like an elite wide receiver. Looks like a third-year guy already to me. Is he elite, quote-unquote, in the NFL right now? Well, no. But in terms of the rookie wide receivers, which is the point of this video, comparing them, to me, I have no problem if someone votes and says it's Chris Olave at all. Let me know what you think of my breakdown in the comments section if you're just watching the film study of Chris Olave or if you're watching the larger film study that's about all the rookie wide receivers in the NFL in 2022.